So hi, Stephinity here. Here's another new speed build video that I post today. Is a new build in Newcrest in a lot called Hillside Highlands, and I wish to call it called Ad Meliora. Is a Latin phrase which means to better things or to the better. And why I named this because at the end of this build, I feel like it's very inspiring. I didn't expect it to look that inspiring at the end, but yeah. And at first, I built a shape like an open book, where you can actually see the hill behind it, and also the town through the hole, and it's kind of like a book where you can look at the world, and it's kind of like trying to inspire the residents living there. And at the end of this build, I think I kind of inspired myself as well. So in the middle of this part, I decided to have little sky garden on the second floor, as you can see there. I think it's one of the main feature of this build, where there's a very huge greenery area where the Sims can relax and actually enjoy the view, although they don't really have the button called enjoy the view, but I think that the position on the second floor, which later on I'll add some other new things on the lots, and it makes the scenery really nice. So the overall build, I use some darker wood color for the windows and doors, as you can see. At first I used some metallic frame, but then I feel like if I use metallic frame, it makes it very much look like a university or some institutional thing. So I don't like that. I want it to be something more natural and things like that. And also, because of the structure problem, there are two very big, the two columns I can only use letters because of the space restriction. So it wouldn't be a very age-friendly house to the older people in real life, but I think it kind of fits in the house. So so there are 4 floors, but there are a sky garden, and basically the second and third floor are just only rooms, which people can only do some minor activities, and you will see it later on. And now I'm working on the entrance. I think the entrance part is always the most difficult part for me, because I don't know what else to fit in there, and so I decided to follow the style of having darker woods, and to give a more natural, more relaxing style in there. And I use wood a lot in this build, so you will see a lot of wooden floor pattern there. And for the entrance, you'll see later on that on this wall that I'm now trying to decorate with cabinets and things like that. I used items from the seasons pack, but then I changed my mind because I want to keep this build just base game CC, so I just used I decided to put them away and use base game CC decoration, and it turns out it ends up quite good. The reason why I so insist on using base game CC in my builds only because I want all simmers to be able to use my build and also to know how not to know but to see how one can actually build different things without being limited by the base game items. Yes, and you can see the wall thing. Yeah, I replaced it with these two fabric art decor, and it turns out well, I think, at the end. So I think I quite like the vibe from the entrance already. And moving on to the kitchen part, I use a bit of darker wood, but it's still woody. There are still a lot of wood there with the wall, the accent wall, and also the flooring, also wooden pattern. And the kitchen cabinets and counters are also slightly woody, but it's a darker wood. And at this part, I adjust the counter and the fridge, how they're positioned. And I later on realized that I actually used the island counter. And but then never mind. I think it fits quite well into my house's theme, so I use it anyway. And I've realized that I quite like to use accent wall in this build. As you can see that in the entrance I already used two accent wall. One is a lighter wood and the other is black grey concrete, and in this kitchen I use a black wood accent wall pattern and things like that. And then I add some extra clutters in the kitchen, and there we go. We finished our kitchen. And then moving on, we have a very, very, very small bathroom. At first it's just 4 tiles. But then I realized it's just a bit too small because I want to also to fit in a shower there. So I expanded to a 5 tile bathroom, just enough for one to take a bath after swimming or during their activities on the ground floor. Why swimming? And you'll see later on that I add a very, very huge pool in this house. And now this is the dining room, and it's also woody but a little bit more like a lighter wood. In this room it will be less dark in this room, but still some lines of darker woods. For example, like the cabinet I put in here. And because I put some large window out there, I think later on when I add the pool outside, the view is really, really nice. And I imagine myself if there's a house like this out there, I would be inspired by it by just sitting in the dining room, lurking out there every day. That would be my dream, to be honest. Yeah, and now that's the pool part that I'm talking about. It's actually like a moat, but it's not necessarily a moat because it's not surrounding the building outside, but it's inside the building, and in the middle there's an island where people can have a barbecue, have a party out there, and to have sunbathing and things like that. And I think the idea really it's kind of like my dream house actually. And you can enter the pool from one side nearest to the house, and the other you'll be able to go back to the middle island to enjoy your pool party. And because of this pool, I think if there's a real house in the real life, the view from the second floor would be amazing, because you can also see the pool, you can see the mountain, you can see the town view, and it's really an inspiration, and that's why it's called Ad Meliora. I hope I read it correctly, because I'm not good at Latin, but I would like to use Latin phrase to make it a little bit more sophisticated, things like that. And now we are moving on to the second floor, which is the sky garden I'm talking about. It's not a rooftop garden, because it's not the rooftop, so I call it a sky garden. And I put 2 love seats there, so people can sit there to look at the view, and there are also some places to plant things. But then for the smaller room in the 2 columns, I didn't put much attention to that, so I just put 2 pots of plant there. And now onto the 3rd floor. I make it a bit more functional room. So one side you just see that I put a treadmill there, and the other I'll put an office, and the office side will be actually belongs to the master suite on the 4th floor, and the treadmill will belongs to the teenage room on the 4th floor. And I'll explain why. And because on the 4th floor master suite, I don't want the study area to be on the 4th floor. I want it to be a real relaxing area. So because it is a place for inspiration, so no need to bring works to the sleeping area. I think it's a place for relaxation. So on the teenage side, I place treadmill, and there will be a working space inside the bedroom. But it's not necessarily working, because you can play video games as a teenager, so it's still a pretty good relaxing place in this house for the teenage room. And this is the master suite, and I divided the room into 2 parts, divided by the wallpaper. One is dressing area, and one is the sleeping area, as you can see here. So I still use darker woods theme inside here. So the whole theme inside the house kind of lines. The floor is still wooden, as you can see. So I really like the vibe of this house, because it kind of combines nature, although it's a bit more of a modern Luxe style, as you can see. Though I'm not using the recent modern Luxe kit, but is that kind of style, modern Luxe, though with a bit of woody touch there, I'd say. And this is the bathroom, and I realize I really love using accent wall again, though I don't know which wall to make as an accent wall, but you'll see that I use it in nearly every room in this house. And you can notice that the rooms on the 4th floor have all wide big windows. I think some people may think it's a lack of privacy, but I think because the windows faces the back of the house is not facing the front, and you actually can look at the pool and the hills and the town view. So I think it's pretty nice. It's a pretty nice touch. I really would love to live in this house. And now we're on to the teenage room. So I make it a bit more playful, as you can see with the poster there. And the bedroom I used black and pink. So if you are a fan of a band, then you'll understand my reference. And although it's using black and pink, you'll still see a bit of wood and dark color reference there. And I put a lot more activities where teenage can do, and there's definitely a band that this teenage loves. So you can guess what band she loves or he loves. And there's also a small vanity area I built there. It's still black and pink. I really love that. And then there's also a coffee table area I built there where the children turned teenager can have time to spend with his or her friends. And at last, the bathroom. The teenage room's bathroom is, of course, themed black. And I think it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool toilet, and is nearly the only room without accent wall because it's all black. Okay, so and then we are moving on to the terrain paint, and also some plant there. I don't like to use fence that much, so I usually use some green hedges to surround the house. And I build the main road to the house, some terrain paint, and I use some round shaped grasses and trees. I really love that. It gives a strange but kind of interesting look to this house. And at last, I add some outdoor lighting, and also, of course, the garbage can and the mailbox. And that's it. So, now, Karen is here again, our real estate agent, and she will bring us to look inside of the house and see the overall build. So you can see that this house is surrounded by towns, and the back of the build is like this. I really feel satisfied after building this, and I hope I can give you a glimpse of what it feels inside. You can see the mountains back there. It's a really nice location, I'd say. So there's the entrance, and because it's too small, I need to describe it from, let you see from bird view. This is the kitchen, and then there's the dining area facing the pool side area, and I bet is a pretty nice view there, as you can see in this shot. So on to the second floor sky garden. So Karen is currently walking in the sky garden, and you can get the best view from where she stands at. And she's enjoying herself as well. So this is how it looks like when you're on the second floor. You can see the pool, you can see the mountain. That's awesome. Now, this is the treadmill in case you miss that in the speed build. And this is the small office to the master suite. And this is the teenage room with black and pink theme. And this side is the master suite with a darker wood tone and a more neutral color. And that's pretty much wraps up my build. And hope you like this build, and I really enjoy building this one. It's at Meliora. So hope you enjoy watching this speed build, and at last, happy simming. I feel lost recently, but I feel better at the end of this build. I wish I have this build in my real life.